You want that drop? First, you got to know your story. I keep telling you, it's a race between them, finding them, and you finding you. They're trying to find their power. You need to tap into your own. They're trying to figure you out. You need to figure you out. You got to tell your story. We don't dig on his story. We're digging on your story. So let's go, man. Let's fall back in an ancient language. And I'm not here to say who thinks what language is the most ancient. That's not even, look, my nigga. At some point, we got to stop being children and start tapping in. Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter to speak to you in the Americas. Did you know? We're finding Paleo-Hebrew, the 10 Commandments, Decalogue stone, right there in New Mexico, Los Lunas. So this language is already here in stone, pre-hijack, my nigga. So you got to know who you are by now, and you got to know your story. So let's tell the story. Let's dig on this together, To the far left, you got what's known as the Picto Hebrew. What they call middle is, more popularly known as Paleo. And then the late looks more like the modern, Chaldean flame letter situation, right? So, let's just go all the way down from Aleph to Tau and see if we can put together the story that's embedded in the language. Because you can't do this with English. I mean, this is what English comes from. You go way over here to the right, past the Greek. I mean, even at the Latin, this chart don't even have your A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But even, to the Latin, my nigga, you see that it's all going back to this. So don't look at this and say, how can you do that if you're speaking this? So let's get some clarity, man. Let's tell our story. Because they gave you a new Aleph bet, and you got to back it all the way up to the beginning, to the most ancient love song, to speak the most ancient frequency, because they're not speaking it. They're over there with their Yiddish. They're over there with their, other version of things. They're not speaking it, my nigga. You don't need no Hebrew scholar to teach you this. This comes from within you. Everything we're digging on is coming from within us. Let's go. So you start with this ox head, right? This L, or this Aleph, strong power, leader. Khan, then it became the Aleph. So L is, a general term for strong power. You have good strong powers named L, bad strong powers named L. But in general, we're talking about a good strong power. That does what? Goes into a floor plan or a tent or a house. What's known as the bot. We're telling our story, so let's go. We have a strong power. Goes into the family. Okay. Into the house. Okay, Drop Nation, let's go. And then you got the Gom. So once that strong power entered into that home, entered into that Naga, entered into the tribe, we started to gather. We started to walk. Gom. This is where they get that Gamo or Kimmel or Gamel, or, the G's and C's became the camel. The camel is the Gamo, because the camel is walking, right? Let's go. All right. So you got that strong power. It goes into the family, goes into the house, goes into the Naga. You start to motivate. You start to gather. You start to walk. We start to move through a what? A door, a dial. You see it in the picto. You know what I mean? Looks like that portal. So it's like we go through a portal, an entrance. First one to greet you, they say a man with his arms raised. Nah, my nigga, that's Big Mama. Because Big Mama is your breath. That's what they call wisdom in Christianity. What does Solomon pray for? Wisdom, because he needs that HaWaH. He needs that revelation. He needs to fortify his kingdom. He needs that look, right? Not hey, right? Because over here, when you see it, where it goes with the sounds, right? The sounds. You have the AH. Every breath, right? That's a feminine. It's going in you. Every exhale, every inhale's feminine. Exhale's masculine. So when you get your ha, right through the gate, you go through that door, right? First, you got that strong power. You got that frequency hit you. You start to, get that floor plan, right? You start to motivate, start to gather, gom through the door. You move through the entrance. Mama, wisdom, Shekinah, right? Greet you. And if you in code, you might get that breath. With that breath, you now have your security. Wow, that's your father. So when we dig on the modern or the Papuva Quiche language of the indigenous, the Quiche, the root language, they have their indigenous framer and shaper, and that's what we're getting back to. Framer and shaper. Your mother, your father, your security, your breath of security. HaWaH. Now, it ain't no coincidence that when you dig on what they call Yahweh, dodge the hijack, that only became popular when? 1869. They want to bring it all the way back to the Yah. Hey, my noggin, you got to reverse the curse. Because when you reverse the Yah, you got the Ha, right? Bang. Then you got the Wah, right? Bang. So why would they reverse it? And why do they got us thinking they're talking about the Yod or the Yod? Nah, my nigga, that ain't your Yah Yod. That's their Yah. That's what they're teaching you. But you got to dodge the hijack because there's two Yahs, right? You got your indigenous Hebrew, Yod, Yod. This is what they're saying the Yah is, right? So they say worship, right? Throw, work, hand. Okay. The Yod is different than the Yah, Manak. But they want you to bring it back to your Yah. But the Yod is different. I mean, when we digging on Yah, right? It's all about the phonetics, right? It's all about the sound. It's all about the exclamation of defiance or dismissal. So simply by creating the Yahweh, HaWaH, they are giving their own exclamation of defiance or dismissal. Again, you got the 1800s hijack, Yahoo. So dodge your Yah, because no one's saying that Yod is bad. I'm saying that they have their own Yah. So when you're learning from them, they are being defiant towards what? Towards the Wah. They say W-E-H. Managa is the same as this W-A-W is what they turn W-E-H, W-A-H. Wah. They are being defiant. They switched the hey to a Yah, telling you that it's your Yod. Nah, Managa. That's why you can't learn from the heathen who's calling on Yahweh, hypothetical tetragrammaton, right? Their tetragrammaton, right? because they're putting this Y in front. But why? They say it's futuristic. Do you put a Y in front of any other name for future purposes? Yah David? Yah Eleazar? Nah, man. A name is a name, or not. Based on the assumption of the tetragrammaton is the imperfective of the Hebrew word. What? HaWaH. So they turned HaWaH into Yahweh after the 1800s. Earlier form of HaWaH. So they switched the HaWaH and still gave you your Yah. And you say, that's okay. It's the same thing. No, it's not. That's why it's not the earlier form of HaWaH. Let's go. Because we know that HaWaH is a highly prominent name. The most ancient name for the Creator, and it's easily identified from the Hebrew verb meaning to form or to mold, framer, and shaper. But then, through a swerving, they don't remember HaWaH. Through a swerving, they went to the HaYahs and into the Yahwehs. But what is this primitive root verb? A primitive root, my naga. So it's hijack free, deeply embedded in the root of the Hebrew language, meaning what? To be, become, come to pass, exist. So when Moses says, hey, what should I call you? He say, I am that I am. I exist, man. He didn't say Jerome or Lorenzo. He just said existence. He didn't say Yah existence, worship existence. He says, I am existence. I am all this to happen, to fall out. Right now, you're having a falling out with your HaWaH, with your existence. You need to snap it back, keep the code. To occur, take place, come about, come to pass, to become, to be, to exist. Managa, you're talking about a primitive root. We're talking primitive roots. And this primitive root is in everything. And the earth was. The was, the to be, anything that is becoming is existence. Before the Creator was in all this. Now you say be, you don't think Creator. You say was, am, you don't think Creator. But Moshe asked the Creator. Moshe asked the Creator in Exodus 3:14. And HaWaH said to Moshe, after Moshe, asked him, man, what should I call you? HaWaH said to Moshe, I am that I am. And he said, thus shall you say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me. So he'll say, I am, I am, I am is HaWaH. HaWaH, which they call HaYah, which we have learned over and over. That HaYah. Right? Is the latter form, because HaWaH is the earlier form. The most primitive name, right? The most primitive name. So we telling our story, my naga. We're telling our story of the most ancient name, and it's right here when we're digging on our story, your story. You go through the door. HaWaH is right there before you get your zon, your food. Then you have a wall outside, divide. Now we're moving. We have separation. Now we have the surrounding of what? What's being contained? Anaga, are you keeping the code? Are you containing that in a basket? Is it protected? X marks the spot. Then we got our yad, our work, our throw. But you don't got that before you got your zon, your food, and your cut off. So your HaWaH has to already be there before you can continue outside the wall. Your cough to bend, open, allow, to tame, an open palm. Now we got the lam, the teaching, the yoke of authority, my naga. The mem, the noon, the shin, the ayin. We surfing the wave in real time. Allah HaWaH for the story.